The anabolic roid that is famous for women in bikini competitions, which is known as a mild oral steroid. In this video I will tell you everything you have to know about the steroid. What's up guys, Ferdinand here from wolfphysique.com, and today we are talking about Anavar, Oxandrolone, also called Oxandrolone. The anabolic roid that is famous for women in bikini competitions, which is known as a mild oral steroid. In this video I will tell you everything you have to know about the steroid. Enjoy! So I put up a poll about if most of you are natural or not, and most of you are. But it's quite funny because most of you also like my PD videos and they also do pretty well. So I thought to myself, let's get into it more. I mean, like, I can't stop you doing shit, but what I can do is help you to do it as safely as possible. But I'm no doctor. If you listen to me, you'll probably fucking die. So do not listen to me, guys. I'm just a natty guy who coaches people who use shit. So I will not waste your time, but before we start off the video, do not subscribe to the channel or like the video because your phone might blow up. I'm serious. I am so much kidding right now. One of the anabolic steroids that owes its fame mainly to its supposed safety is, without a doubt, Anavar. Oxandrolone, also called Anavar in the bodybuilding community, is an androgen. And an androgen is any natural or synthetic steroid hormone that regulates the development and maintenance of characteristics of a man, like beard growth, deep voice, and shit like that. But this anabolic steroid is medication which is used to help promote weight gain in various situations, to help offset protein catabolism, to support recovery from severe bones, osteoporosis. So it basically helps with serious things we do not want. But Anavar is a trade name for the anabolic steroid called Oxandrolone, like I said before. Anavar is a mild anabolic, and in addition to the mild anabolic effect, has a mild androgenic effect. So this is the steroid that chicks use before they step on stage or they want to get a little bit more jacked or something like that. This is the steroid that most women use, next to primobolan, for example. But primobolan, you really have to watch out with what you're doing, because if a chick does not know what she is doing and she really does not have anyone who understands this shit that helps her, she can basically turn into a man, really get man characteristics. I also talked about it in a video about this chick, that she just had a lot of energetic effects from it. And yeah, like deeper voice, an enlarged clit. Of course I didn't saw her clit, but you know what I mean. If your voice get deepened because of Anavar, there's nothing you can do to get rid of it. So you really have to watch out with this stuff. But furthermore, Anavar is a DHT derivative, so it does not aromatize to estrogen. So certain side effects do not occur, like gynecomastia, like a lot of water retention. That's why people always think, if I take Anavar or blah blah blah, I'll get shredded, blah blah blah. But just like Winstrol, I already made this video as well. People think you have to use Winstrol because to lose fat, but it just doesn't work like that. But it is an oral anabolic steroid, which makes it toxic to the liver. But it is to a small extent compared to other things like SARMs or Winstrol or that kind of stuff. But I always say this, never do an oral only cycle. I already made a video about this as well. If you want your dick to stop working, do an Anavar only cycle. If you want to crash your testosterone levels, do an Anavar only cycle. It's stupid, don't do it. And I'll get back to that later in the video. But what I want you to know, you always need a testosterone base, because testosterone converts to estrogen and estradiol. Those are just things that are so important because estrogen is cardioprotective, neuroprotective. It regulates your blood lipids. It's just so important. Also, if you have low estrogen, low estradiol, it's crushed to the ground because you shut yourself down because you use an anabolic steroid like Anavar and you have no estrogen. Well, say bye to your libido and feeling like shit, depressed like feelings. It's just fucking stupid. I have no other way to put it. But like many steroids, Anavar also has its roots in the US. In 1964, it was introduced by Shirley Laboratories in the United States. It's an anabolic steroid that is considered quite weak and therefore relatively safe, right? But that is why it is so expensive. In the medical world, the use of Anavar is seen as a safe alternative to the less safe anabolics like Winstrol or other steroids that are just not that healthy for you. But the most remarkable effect of Anavar as a medicine is that it accelerates the healing of wounds. Anavar is also often used in people with severe burns. In addition, it is administered to HIV-infected people who lose weight rapidly and to children whose growth is stunted. Shirley Laboratories introduced Oxandrolone in 1964, after which it quickly became very popular in sport due to its safety. At the time, the anabol was really popular, but it was not an anabolic without risks. So Anavar offered a solution. It became one of the best-selling steroids around that time, until sales were discontinued in 1989. The demand for this popular anabolic steroid continued, and the small amount that was still available was sold at a really high price. And I will get back to the price because a lot of people are getting screwed, but I'll tell you later. But as a result, the popularity declined enormously. From 1995, Oxandrolone is again easier to obtain under the name Oxandrin, which is often used in autoimmune diseases. The popularity of Anavar was great among both men and women. It has almost no masculizing side effects and it has no aromatizing effect. So the testosterone is not converted into estrogen. It is often used by bodybuilders when they start cutting or getting stage ready. Just like things like Trenbolone, because it retains muscle mass really well. I never really recommend using Trenbolone if you're in a building phase. I also want to make a video about Trenbolone because I had around 3 clients that use Trenbolone and things were not going that well. But I really tried to keep up to date to Trenbolone and other anabolic steroids because I just have a notification on PubMed, so if there's a new study coming out, I always like to see it. So for me, it's always interesting. So is Anavar really suppressive? Does it really suppress your natural testosterone? Well, it does, to a certain extent. It's pretty low. It's just not favorable. Let's just say you're doing an Anavar only cycle. Yes, you are suppressed. You still need a post-cycle therapy, but the post-cycle therapy does not have to be that long compared to if you're coming off like testosterone or something else like that. People who say you can do that without problems are fucking stupid. It crushes your sex hormone binding globulin as well. If you have a lot of free testosterone circulating and your sex hormone binding globulin is low as fuck, what is the benefit exactly? So doses around 20 milligrams per day has a really small androgenic effect. And this is very low compared to other anabolics because this anabolic is it builds muscle, alright? It's a great compound. The use of Anavar in bodybuilders is of course limited if the effect is not very large on muscle mass. There are definitely other things that you can use to gain more muscle, but all anabolics have their place. But Anavar really has a cosmetic effect. It makes you look pretty hard and good, and it just makes you look good, if you know what you're doing, of course. No oral only cycles, fuckers! It is mainly used in powerlifters and weightlifters who want to increase their muscle strength without gaining too much weight. This way, these power athletes can stay in their own weight class. The increase in muscle strength that Anavar causes is due to the formation of phosphocreatine, which can replenish ATP stores. And this increases your anaerobic performance, which in turn leads to better explosiveness. Bodybuilders do use Oxandrolone, but often they stack it with a highly androgenic compound. A common stack is Anavar in combination with Winstrol, and of course testosterone, or I don't know, EQ before you going to step on stage. There are just a lot of things you can do. Side effects, as previously described, the side effects of Oxandrolone are less, but they do exist. The decrease in sex hormone binding globulin alone is also not very favorable. For example, some of my clients on Anavar experience nausea and headaches. In addition, despite the safety, it should be noted that Anavar is a 17-alpha alkylated substance with the possibility of liver damage if you consume it in excess. And Anavar is safe, so this is also the magic steroid that a lot of women use. But I also have to tell you, most guys that sell it, and I will never say where you can get it, but most guys that sell it are selling you fake stuff. You might be buying Winstrol because Oxandrolone, Anavar is very hard to get to, and also it is just very expensive. And I gotta say, if you take an oral of 80 milligrams, 60 milligrams, or even less than that, it's not real Anavar, trust me. If you like it, subscribe, and hit the link down below for coaching, because if you want to be smart about this stuff, be smart and hire someone who knows about this stuff. And that's not necessarily me, if you listen to me, you might die. But I gotta say, coaching down below, and I see you next time, guys. Much love.